Hi everybody, it's Ross with Lagniappe Theatre. Here is makeup look number 2. This is Skylar right here. She will be our model, and we are going to be doing a butterfly this time. Now, I always say start with a drawing. I've done the Dalmatian one a whole bunch of times if you saw the Dalmatian one, but I haven't really done a lot of butterflies. So I went online and I found a drawing, or at least a picture that I can follow. It makes it a whole lot easier when you have something like that in mind on how you're going to do it. Now, same things. We're going to need some items to make this happen, and here are all the stuff you're going to need. We're going to do this in like a purple and a pink, so you're going to make sure that you need a pink makeup. I have that right here. I also have a purple. You can do any color that you like, anything that you can find, but the most important color that you have to have for this, whatever color you end up doing, is black. Black is one of the most important ones because that is the outline of all the stuff that we're going to be doing. All right, so we have those. Again, I want to show everybody, we need to go ahead and have our brushes ready. We need to have, we have our stubby brush, which is a number 12 brush, which is this one right here with the fat end on it, right there, okay? We also need to have our number 4 brush, which is our tiny stubby brush. And remember, the stiffer the brush is, the easier it is to work with makeup on the face. This one right here this is our number 4. And then my other ones that I always like to have are my Sashed Brush, which my Sashed Brush is this one right here, the one that's cut at an angle, all right? And then this one right here is, I have these just in case I need them. I have another stubby brush in case I need to change colors real quickly. And then I have my little bitty tiny one, my little tiny detail brush. This is good for doing very, very small work. All right. You'll also need your wedge makeup sponges. Okay. A couple of those out of the bag here. Show you those again. I like the kind that are the real foam ones. You can take a look, see here. The real foam ones are the nice ones because the makeup doesn't actually sink into the sponge. It actually sits on top, so it makes it a whole lot easier to blend when you need it. You're also going to need your blush brush for putting on the makeup set powder. You'll also need your makeup set powder. You can find those at any store. The one that's going to be the hardest to find is the makeup seal spray, which Skylar says she doesn't want me to use, but I just want to show it to you again. This helps whenever you're going outside. It keeps the makeup from melting off whenever they sweat. Okay, that's pretty much everything that you need to know. Again, with every single makeup application, always start with a moisturizer. You want to put that moisture in as a barrier between the makeup and their skin, especially with kids, because their skin tends to be a little bit more reactive to that kind of stuff. So we're going to start by putting a little bit of this moisturizer right here on Skylar's cheeks, where we're going to be doing the butterfly. I'm going to put it right here and up here, right around there. Put a little bit on her nose. You can use any moisturizer you like. It does not have to be any special kind, just as long as it's something that you like and you like to use. Some of you parents out there may have something that you already use on a daily basis. That'll work just fine. We're just trying to put something between the pores and the makeup. It also helps the makeup spread a little bit better with a little bit of moisturizer on. Okay, there we go. Okay, now let's turn the camera here a little bit more towards Skylar, and we will get started. Okay, I'm actually going to put my drawing right here in Skylar's lap, so as I'm doing it, it's something that will help me see what I'm doing. So the first thing that I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by putting the color on in the areas that I want it. If it goes a little bit outside the lines, that's all right. So we're going to start by taking a little bit of this. I'm going to take this nice fresh sponge, and I'm going to take a little bit of this pink. And what I think I'm going to do is, like you see in the picture here, I'm going to put the pink right here under her cheeks and put the purple on the edges. And then I will come back with the black to make the shape of the butterfly. All right, we're going to start with a little bit of pink. Again, make sure that you use the flat end of the wedge because it's the easiest way to spread the makeup, okay? So I'll put that on there. I'm gonna come right over here. I'm gonna have Skylar turn her face for me real quick. I'm gonna start with her eye because that's usually the most sensitive part. So close your eye for me, but not super tight. Very good. Just gonna gently put this right on here and just kind of fill in this area where I wanna start. So I'm gonna start here, right here at the center of the nose, and I'm gonna work my way down right to the bottom of the cheek. And then I'm gonna come right above the head right here, right above her eyebrow, and I'm gonna kind of swing down. And I'm gonna make the rough shape of a butterfly wing right now. So Now, the good thing with a sponge is also, if you'll see right here, there's a little bit of area I want to kind of draw it in. I can use the thin part of the sponge as well. And we take that, we're going to dip that into the makeup as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically use it to sort of draw a line where I want this to go. And I'm just going to kind of pull it down where I want it. And that'll give me a little more shape. I can always fix that later with a brush. But as you see, it's kind of doing exactly what a brush would do as well. I'm going to get right under your eye here, Skylar. Very good. All right. And then you'll see that there's a couple little streaks. So I'm gonna come back with the flat side now that I see where I'm working. And I'm just gonna fill that in with what I have here. So you see right there, I've got sort of that wing shape going on. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this pink again on the flat side of the brush. I mean of the sponge. All right, close your eye for me. And then I'm gonna try to follow the exact same path that I did on the other side of her face. I'm gonna swing it around down here, and then I'm gonna come this way. And with the butterfly wing, you know, you're kind of making, the best description I can say is you're kind of making the shape of like a T-bone steak. That's the best way to put it. And as you start doing, that's the shape we want to kind of go for when we have kind of like this blob makeup, and then we'll come back in with the brush and we'll make the rest of that. And I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna take the tip again of the sponge so I can draw that line. Okay, and I'm gonna come down the side of her face right here and just kind of swoop up and kind of round it off. There we go. And if a little bit is over the edge of where you want it to be, that's okay, because with the black, it's gonna cover a lot of that up, and you can define the area that you want with the black makeup. All right, let me take a look and see. Put a little bit more on this side. I made the one on this side a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger too. There we go. I think I like that. So, and a lot of this just comes down to what you feel comfortable with. If you think that it's too much and you made it too big, grab a baby wipe, wipe it off, and then start again. Okay, so we filled in this part right here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the purple on, because our black in this particular case should be the last thing that we put on. So I've got my purple. All right, now I'm gonna get another sponge, which is why I told you guys to get, my stick is not cooperating with me here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and, there we go. I'm gonna get me another sponge, because the way to blend this to make it look really well, sponges do the best work with blending. Brushes do a pretty good job, but really this, because of its flat nature, I can really blend in. So I'm gonna take the skinny side of the sponge here, and I'm just gonna work my way around the edges of what we've already done, okay? I'm gonna work my way around the edge. I'm gonna start on this side right here. So I'm gonna work my way around the edge, just like this, and add that purple into there. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more, because I want it to be a little bit darker than that. So I'm gonna work that in. And as you can see, this purple will stand out with this color. You can see it right there as it's starting to come in. And I'm gonna dig in a little bit more on the top of the brow right here, on this kind of meaty part of the brow, to make that kind of more of our top of our wing. I'm gonna spin this way, go like that, right down that direction. All right, now that I've done that, I want to put a little bit heavier amount on. So I'm going to use the flat bottom side of the wedge, and that'll give me an ability to spread this a little bit better. There we go. And then all you got to do is you can drag some of that pink into the purple to get that nice blend going there. There we go. I'm gonna go to the other side now that I've defined that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna start at the top and swoop my way down, adding that purple in where I want it. And then I'm gonna come back and just blend it in. Now, if you wanna use other colors, you're certainly welcome to use other colors. You can do blues and greens and yellows. All I ever try to do is try to do the lightest color first, and then work in your darker colors as you do it. Now, I've got that. So now I'm gonna take the sponge here on this side. I'm gonna go to the clean side of the sponge actually, since I don't have anything there. And I'm just gonna drag some of that pink in there, and it's gonna blend and make it look like it's kind of folding into the other color. Okay, there we go. So now we've got a little bit of purple mixed in there. All right, now, our next step on this is to start doing our black. All right. Now, the hard part that that most people are gonna have trouble with here is that it's gonna feel like you're making these little swoops and these little designs, and that they're gonna kind of get, sometimes they can get too thin or whatever. So what we're gonna do is, or you might make one and you don't like the way it looks. Again, it's okay, just wipe it off and start over again. Or just try to make it work by making the line a little bit bigger. So we're gonna take our Sashed brush, a little bit of black, and get it nice and full of black. The more you have on there, the easier it is to make these, because you will have to go back over them. All right, so we're gonna start on this bottom line right here, which kind of starts right in the corner of the eye and works its way down and comes up to a little spiral shape right there. So we're gonna start by using just the very tip of this Sashed brush and work our way down. We're just gonna do a very fine line right here to start off with. Okay, so I started with my very fine line. This defines where I need to actually put it. Now I can start from there and I can start making the design. Instead of just doing a heavy swoop down, which will actually make your line really thick, now you know you can use, so I'm using the very pointed tip of this brush right here to do that. Now I'm gonna come back again, I'm gonna do another little line and make it a little bit thicker. And as I release and as I push down, the line becomes a little bit thicker. Now, I wanna make that little swirl that comes in for the bottom of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down like this, and I'm gonna lightly, with the very tip of the brush, try to make that swirl happen. All right, now I've started it. You can kind of see it there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with the brush, and I'm gonna fill that in very gently with a couple of little strokes. And now you'll start to see it come to life. Very, very nice, it's coming out nicely. I'm gonna make this a little bit thicker. All right. And just keep on with that. Now, we've got our first little section there. So what I wanna do is I wanna follow, like this drawing says, it kind of goes up and then down, and it almost makes sort of like just sort of an up and down pattern for making the outside of the wing. We're only gonna go up to here with this part of it. So, I'm gonna get some more makeup right here on my brush, and I'm gonna do exactly what that was doing. And I'm gonna make a turn. I'm gonna come up from here with the pointed side of the brush down, as you can see. And I'm just gonna come right up and make a little point in. All right, then I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna do that again, and I'm gonna follow that same line up, and I'm gonna make another one that's gonna go up into it. And then this one's gonna swoop back down. So I wanna make it a point right in like that. And then I'm gonna swoop back down, and I'm gonna come down below, as you can see right there, okay? And then I'm gonna swoop back up. And you start seeing that wing pattern kind of start to happen. And then we're gonna just make some other little ones like that. And then I'm gonna make another one like this. All right, so you can see the definition of it starting to happen here. Now, we've got this part. We're gonna come back and clean that up with a smaller brush. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow actually her actual eyebrow so we can finish out this wing. We're gonna start right here. I'm gonna bring her in a little bit closer so you can see it better. I'm gonna follow the line of her eyebrow right here on the inside. I'm gonna start here, and I'm going to come right down here, and I'm gonna go like this, whoop, and I'm gonna make a, come up to a point. So I'm gonna start right above my line that I made here. I'm gonna make a turn, follow the eyebrow, and then make a point by slowly lifting the brush up. You can see right there now we've made that point right there. I'm gonna fill that in a little bit more. Make it so it's a little more defined. There we go. Very good. You see how nice and sharp that is? And then I'm gonna swing down and come right into the corner of her eye right here, just like that. So you can see our wing is starting to take shape right there. All right. Now above her eye, we're gonna do another one. This will be the top of the wing. We're gonna start right here at the corner. We're going to swoop right following the line of this, and right when we get to the top of it, we're gonna come around into a curve. So here we go. Start right here, follow the line, and come around into a curve and slowly a point. There we go. So we're starting to get that nice butterfly shape now. The big important thing is with the Sashed brush, this is what makes these kind of jobs really easy. Now this one takes a little bit longer than some other makeup applications because you have so many fine lines you're trying to do. Now we're gonna follow this and we're just gonna come right down to the tip of this right here and we're gonna come in for another point. Whoop. Just like that, okay? Then we're gonna do another one. We're gonna make a longer one that's actually gonna go in. It's gonna follow this same line. One more little butterfly point, a little bit longer, and whoop. See how I'm taking the tip of that brush and it's making it work that way? Now, we're gonna do a couple little designs, little swoop outs right here into like what would be like a teardrop kind of shape. So what we wanna do is when we make a teardrop kind of shape, we just wanna kind of go ahead and paint the base of our teardrop like so. And then we're just gonna do a little line. And then we'll do another little teardrop. And then here's the tip of the teardrop. And you can see, all of a sudden our butterfly shape is starting to come together. Now, if you want to do something different, you can add a little something else in here. Like I'm going to come right over here, and I think those little teardrops are kind of cool. So I'm going to add another little teardrop right here because I think that would look really nice. So I'm going to gently do that, and then I'm going to start at the tip, and whoop. And that's going to add a little more definition to it. So you see how our wing has sort of come together. Now, if you want to put a more connected wing to make it a little more defined, you certainly can. We would just come around here and we would just kind of take these right there and then we would just sort of connect them. And all of a sudden now you have the upper and the lower wing. Now, if I want this to be a little bit more of a little bit more of a swirl, I'm just going to take the tip of that brush and just whoop, come right in there. And now all of a sudden you see that we have that nice little curve right there on the tip. Now, the hard part of this makeup application is going to be that we're going to have to do it on both sides. So you're going to want to make it match, which is why we're going to try and follow the same pattern that we did on the other side. So let's do that other side right now. Again, part 2. Start at the very corner of the eye. We're going to follow our makeup, our pink, all the way down, and we're going to come down into a little swirl. So we're going to follow that all the way down, and we're going to curve back up into a swirl. Now you see how that one's a little bit different, all right? That's okay. If you want to make it perfect, you can go back and take it off and you do it again. I kind of like it if the butterfly wing looks a little bit different on one side because it looks like the butterfly might be moving. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and follow our way back up. We're gonna take another one and we're gonna make our little indentation. We're gonna try and match this side and we're gonna make a little swoop in. There's that one. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna come back up and we're gonna make another one that swoops in. Same thing, you can see right there. And then we're going to take and we're gonna start right up here at the corner and work our way down so it gives us some place to go to. It's gonna come down right there. All right, perfect. So now we're gonna make her little tiger stripes is really what they kind of look like to me. Right here, make a little, start right there, make a little tiger stripe. Fill that in. Whoop. Right there. Perfect. Now we're going to go and do the brow like we did on the other side. We're going to start at the corner of the eye right here, work our way up around the brow, and then we're going to come out to a point right there. So here we go. Following the brow line, and then make a turn to the edge. Turn your head for me real quick there, Skylar. Right to the edge here, and you can see how that's coming right out to the edge of the pink. Perfect. Then we're gonna follow that down and right down to the corner of the eye, kind of meeting where the other black line is. Whoop. See right there? Starting to come to life. In a second, we're gonna put the head of the butterfly on there and you'll really see it at that point. But now let's do that top one. So starting at kind of the same place like we did on the other side, we're gonna follow our makeup line of pink and purple, and we're gonna come up and we're gonna make that nice little curl to the top of the butterfly wing. So now I started on the left side of Skylar's face because that's actually my weaker side. I'm right-handed, so you'll start to learn that as you do stuff like this, you're gonna have a side that makes it a little bit harder on you and sides that make it easier. So I'm actually doing my stronger side now because on the right side of her face, I have a lot more control over my brush All right, we got that going. All right, now I see like this didn't make quite the point I want, so I'm gonna come right back over there and voila. Make a little bit more pointed right there. Now, we'll come right off of this line right here and make our next little tiger stripe look. Perfect. All right. And then we're supposed to have our little teardrops right in there. So we'll paint our little teardrop and then swoop, and a little teardrop and a little swoop. And then we will make another one right here to match the other side. We're gonna make that little teardrop and then come out to a little point. Come on, you. There we go. Now, you'll see right here at the top, we're gonna put the head of the butterfly. Now you can make her whole nose be the body. You can make it very delicate. You could add some colors in there. We're gonna start by making that little head at the top. The head will go right between her eyes. So, make ourselves a little head here. Fill in that little area where I got it. And I'm using the Sashed Brush because it allows me to draw lines. Whereas the other ones, sometimes you can't control how thin the line is unless you're using that Sashed Brush. So there's the head of the butterfly. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make its antenna. So the same thing we did before, we're gonna start with a very thin line and make a thicker one and go back down to a thin one. There's one. All right, come over here. Thin line into a thick. And again, whenever you're making those thin lines, all you're doing is lifting the brush pressure, okay? Now, we'll give a little bit of our butterfly body. Come right down here. Skylar, how many body pieces does the butterfly have? Or any insect, do you remember? That's how many, well, you're getting close. That's how many legs like a spider has, but how many body parts? They have a head, a middle, and a butt. What are those? They have how many of those?
3.
3 body pieces. So right here, we're gonna come down and I'll make her just one more and this will finish out our butterfly. You'll see, because I like to finish out the butterfly. So you see right there, you can see the butterfly has come completely together. We're gonna take our stubby brush and we're gonna fill in the pieces between with a little bit of, just a little touch of pink, just to give it a little bit more color. I like that, the way that looks. And then I'm gonna take some of that purple, so we stay in the same color theme. I just wipe my brush off on a paper towel. Still using that stubby brush and some purple. I'm gonna give this butterfly just a little outline so that it's a little more colorful than just that. There we go. Now, if you're really skilled, black, the unfortunate part about black is when you're working inside of black, it will just turn whatever you're using into a darker color. But if you can go real slow, you can sometimes add some other colors. There we go. Now, if you want to do some other extra things in here, you could come in with, let's say, this purple, for instance, right in here in the pink. And like I said, like we've done before, you can make some little spots. Take your brush and twist, 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 twist. Now these colors are very close, this purple and this one, so if you have some other colors, like I just happen to have a few extra colors here, I have some blue actually, I'm gonna make a couple of blue spots inside of here because I think that would stand out nicely with these colors. And I'm gonna make a blue spot right here. I'm gonna make a blue spot right there. And I'm gonna make a blue spot right here. Now, if you had some glitter makeup as well, you could add to this and it would make it look very fantasy and make it nice and shiny. Alrighty. Got a few more of these here. And there you go. Let's move Skylar a little bit closer so you can see that butterfly look. Give me both sides of that butterfly there, Skylar. You'll notice all the swooping and everything like that. And now, all you gotta do is go out and get yourself something shiny to wear and a couple of wings and you will be the best looking butterfly out on the street. All right, so that was look number 2, the butterfly. Thank you very much, Skylar. And we will get started with our next look in just a minute. Say bye for me, Skylar.
Bye.